Yo, what's up, folks? It's your boy, Beastly Bator, and welcome back to another episode of the Bate Escape Podcast. You know, the podcast dedicated to all things masturbation, soul sexuality, and goon culture. And in today's episode, I talked to Mitch, who is the owner and founder of Fapjax Gear. And if you're not familiar with Fapjax clothing, it is gear for proud baiters. Bunch of really cool stuff. They got hats, they got stickers, they got t-shirts, they got muscle shirts, they got all kinds of cool stuff. It's a brand new clothing apparel line made specifically for baiters in mind, but everyone can enjoy really great gear. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. We talk a lot about his business, why it's important for baiters to be visual in the merchandising space, his passion for gooning, and how that led him to create his new business. So I hope you enjoy it. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow this podcast. Tell a friend, and enjoy this episode. Hope you love it. Thanks for listening.
Hey, how's it going?
Yo, what's up? Wait, is this recording? Is this recording? Yes, it is recording.
Success.
I always have to figure out the technicals, the technicalities. Hey, we're
Yeah,
matching.
we are matching. Actually, I have a new tank. I'll have to send you one, or actually, no, it's a muscle shirt, so it's a new
I'm trying to
veteran.
work on my guns. You see that?
I do.
It's kind of
You're,
working, right?
you're doing well. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, thanks. I'm trying to work on the shoulders. Um, hey, thanks for reaching out and wanting to be on this podcast because
Yeah.
I love clothes. And I love clothes that are geared towards betas. And if for people that are listening to the pod, I am joined by Mitch, who is the founder creator
Yeah.
of Fapjax,
Yes. Yep.
and they are brand new. I mean, I'm assuming that it's new. I guess we're gonna talk more about the
Yeah.
beginnings or the bursts of it, but it's pretty new to me.
Yeah. So, we actually only launched maybe less than 2 months ago, actually. So,
Got it.
yeah, I mean, it's been a process, getting everything ready for a launch, but yeah, it's like brand spanking new. So that's probably why you haven't seen or heard about us. So that's why here today.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. I love supporting small businesses, new businesses, especially in the Bator community. I feel like we deserve it. We need it. It's our thing. And so it's
Yeah.
nice to brand it and showcase it and really enjoy it and be proud of it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I couldn't agree more. That's kind of how everything came to be, actually. So could not agree more.
Tell me where this idea came from.
So, you know, I was sitting around with some friends at one point and we were talking about, how do you identify a baiter out and about, right? Like how do you, drop into Starbucks and you're like, okay, like am I gonna grin at this guy? Are we gonna go back and bait? Like how are you gonna do that? How do you how do you navigate that? And we got to talking about how, okay, you walk into Starbucks and you see a guy with a nasty pig hat on, right? So he might be down to go get fucked by a dumpster. Who knows? Like, you know,
Fuck, not the dumpster.
right? Not the dumpster, right? I'm thinking Folsom.
Oh, I'm not okay
Um,
with the dumpster though. Although I
yeah,
don't think I've ever fucked anyone by a dumpster. I should probably do
my
that in my lifetime.
my friend is gonna listen to this because he actually did do that, and
Nice.
that's where I'm pulling that from. But yeah, I mean, you could, like that. I feel like for a while, when you looked at Nasty Pig and you saw people wearing the Nasty Pig brand out, you were like, okay, that guy is probably a little bit more, apt to let's go back to my place and let's go have some fun and whatnot. But I was like, how do baiters do that, right? So that's where this came from, creating a brand that, we can see out and about and, meet each other and something really that we can connect over, and just really have a good time with it. So yeah, that's kind of how it came to be.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think that you're starting it at a really good time because I feel as though there's a lot of openness around masturbation happening right now. Like I feel like there's a renaissance, like there's a I want to say resurgence because I feel like masturbation has been like the fundamentals of sex for the beginning of time. And I've had this conversation numerous of
Yeah.
times where like we're the OG sex um
Yep.
pioneers because like
Hmm.
in a land before time like all you had was yourself, so you were just in the
Right.
woods just beating meat.
But
And so I
there's also, yeah, there's a lot of I agree with you, but there's also a lot of education that has to still go around it too, right? Because
yeah.
even though we're talking about it more, there's a lot of different views. And I know that we'll probably talk about it also, but when I was out and about, I did like a vendor booth at Kink Down South a couple weeks ago in
Mhm.
Atlanta. The, I mean, the reception was great, but I was having conversations with people who were like, "What's a baiter? What's gooning? Like, what is, talk to me more. I've heard about this, but like, talk to me more about it." So there's definitely some education around it too.
But I think
Yeah.
the reason why I'm like really happy that these things are starting, that people are first and foremost, it's like merchandise, it's product created by
Mhm.
baiters for baiters. So I love
Yep.
that. So it's like,
Right.
you're getting something that's authentic, that's real, that's truthful, and you're putting money back in pockets to other baiters. So I'm all for that support.
Right.
And then the other thing was um this proudness that's happening, especially
Hmm.
in our own community. Now it's kind of infiltrating other spaces, which is really exciting. And so
Yeah.
that's a catalyst for people to be like, oh, I am a beta. Like I'm really proud of that. And like where can I shop to like to
Right.
showcase that I am, to show the world that I'm really proud. Um yeah. So yeah, congrats. I'm really excited
Yeah.
to
Well,
to see
thanks.
to see more of it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The majority of the stuff is online, correct?
Yeah. So everything is online.
Yeah.
I am working on getting out and about more. Like I said, I absolutely loved doing the Kink Down South, vendor booth, the event, having all the stuff there, having those conversations, having people come in and be like, "Oh my God, I love this." Like I loved all that. And I kind of got jazzed then too. So I've literally this past week been looking, okay, where can I go next? What can I do next?
Yeah.
So I'll actually be at the Masturbator convention in Pittsburgh, the one that's going on in August.
Mhm.
So I'm sponsoring the cum rags for the event, uh, doing the vendor booth. So
Nice.
I'm excited about meeting all of these baiters who, I've chatted with online or that I've seen on X or that I've busted a nut to like 6, 7, 8 times, like I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to hear from everyone. And what's great about meeting people in person at these events is they're going to let you know what they think about your stuff. And they're going to give you like a shit ton of suggestions too. Because especially when it's new, something they've never seen before. And that's what I'm thriving on right now. So
Yeah.
a lot of these designs, a lot of the things that I'm doing are coming from suggestions. So yeah, just thriving on that for sure.
Do you design everything? Like, did you design this shirt?
So this is one of mine. I don't claim to be like a master graphic designer at all. So I have been pulling resources to design shirts,
Yeah.
especially more of the intricate ones. Yeah, I'm using graphic designers and whatnot. So it's kind
Mhm.
of funny to work with those outside of the Bader bubble because they don't really
Get it?
understand. They don't really get it. So
Wait, who designed the who desi I actually like the face with those spiral eyes and the tongue out. And I saw the picture
yes,
that you sent me, the selfie, and you it's like a neon sign, right? You made it into like a neon sign.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
So there is a
cool.
there is a neon sign that I had made too, but it's
I
actually
like it.
me.
It's your
So
it's your caricature, it's your face.
basically, so it's
Nice.
I reached out to a graphic designer and I said, "Hey, look, I was like, I need this logo for this business," and I said, so here's a couple of pictures. So I gave him a picture of me, like my goon face, right, and then I gave him a picture of a friend, and I said, I need this as kind of like a cartoonish kind of character logo, and I gave him some directions or whatever. And this is what he came back with, and I loved it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, it's
You gotta
technically
like
me,
make
I guess.
stickers of it. You gotta make stickers, you gotta make like decals. Do you have that? You're gonna show me? Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Or yeah, that's
Well,
really
it's
cool with the body, but
yeah,
just like even just the face, like a cutout of like the face.
I
Um,
I
yeah,
love it. I
po
think he did an awesome job.
postcards.
So
No, yeah, I
yeah,
think that's really great. I've always been interested in fashion. I feel like maybe that's something I can try to get into like in the future, but it's just so I don't know. Starting new shit overwhelms me.
I listen. I completely get it. Like this is probably honestly I don't know, a year in the making, just piecing some things
It takes a long
together.
time.
Um, and then you finally pull the lever and you're like, okay, shit, we're in it. We're doing this.
Yeah,
Um, and I think the first, like, I guess you could say the official launch was I collaborated with Alex over at Bator to do giveaway t-shirts
yeah,
for Sausage Fest, which was in Vegas, and so, I mean, we worked together on that, and I showed up with like I don't know how many shirts it was, but then everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" I think I actually might have one that I can show you. This is kind of it's like sorry.
that's cool.
So
Yeah, I love that. Oh, it has like the little
yeah,
jar and the poppers. Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
cool.
we
It's like branded like Fapjax and played well. Okay.
yeah. So we
I,
I mean we did
I
that
want that
and
shirt.
I think I only have like two left that I brought back. So, but everyone seemed to really love them, and it was a great little giveaway. Working with Alex is great too because he's just been like I'll reach out to him. I'm like, hey, what do you do for this? What do you do for this? And he's just always so nice and
Yeah.
receptive, and he's kind of just been a mentor throughout all this as well.
Yeah, I love Alex. When I reached out to him actually and I wanted to get a better understanding of trademark because I did begin the trademark process for the Bate Escape.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna like get this lawyer." Da, da, da. He's like, "No, don't
Mm.
do it. Like, you don't have to spend all this money." And he was a really good resource. He's really cool. Such a baiter. I think maybe
Yeah.
2 weeks ago or a week ago, I went to Brother Bader's bait party, and he showed up. Alex
Oh
showed
yeah.
up with just a bunch of little small cans of Bader Bomb and a bunch of like rag towels, and I was just like, "That's so cool! Like, you're just giving this stuff away."
Yeah.
It helps his business, but still, like, it's a good product, so it's really nice to like have it.
Right. I mean, we all just, I think at this point, any of us that are doing anything merchandise or whatever related, I
Mhm.
almost feel like we're all just really excited to see everybody have fun and get
Yeah.
together and, experience ourselves, experience others. I think one of the biggest things that I'm working on is trying to connect with all of the Bator clubs, obviously across the US. But I really want to see, hey, like, what can we do? What can I do to help you bring more people into the circle? What can I do to get your name out there? What can I do? So I've actually started a Find a Bator group on fapjax.com, and
Hmm.
so there's a little resource there too. So it's cool merchandise or whatever, but then you can go and check out like where can I actually find folks near me that are into the same thing. And some folks are, I mean, some people love to do the whole group thing. Some people are fine being behind a camera and doing it online. And it's all about what you feel is best for you. But I'm loving, you know, connecting people too. So I lived in Seattle up until December. I'm in Atlanta now, but I loved Rain City Jacks. I mean, Paul does such a great job
I want to
of making
go.
everyone. Oh, I actually ran into
My
Alex there one time.
Did you really? My goal is to
Yeah, he
like
was
hit.
visiting.
My goal is to go to like every Fapjax. I haven't even been to the LA one. I'm so bad. But I feel
Yeah.
like I go to the Brother Bader one. He
Hmm.
hosts one pretty frequently, like probably every other Sunday or every Sunday. So it's really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then there's another person in the LA area that'll host like at a nearby local hotel. So that's really cool. But I think that's really great, like to be able to provide
Yeah.
resources to be like, oh, because that's more for people that are just brand new to the scene to say,
Hmm.
oh, I'm scared, I don't want to go alone, or I don't know where to
Right.
start. And you have like a point to give them.
And
I mean,
it's interesting. I don't know if you run into this when you're talking to people or not about
yeah.
dating and getting together and all these groups and stuff. But I hear a lot, and I'm honestly from guys that are younger than me. They're like, "What's Bait World?" I ask like, "Hey, what's your name on Bait World?" And they're like, "What's
Yeah.
Bait World?" And I'm like, "Well, how are you meeting? How are you meeting people?" "Oh, Telegram. I'm meeting people through, whatever, and
Yeah.
Discord." I'm like, when I was, I guess you could say like whenever I was coming out as a baiter or discovering myself as a baiter.
Uh-huh.
I think that was around the time that Bait World had, was getting some traction and stuff. And so that's how I connected with, a
Yeah.
lot of people. And it wasn't until like down the line that people actually started having groups together and baiting together and getting together um and then fell into that too. So
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty typical.
yeah.
Because only because I feel like a lot of baiters are pornosexuals. I feel like
Hmm.
most baiters are pornosexuals.
Oh
They're on
yeah.
the spectrum for sure. And so for me, it was digital was the space to meet everybody because there wasn't anyone near in my vicinity that I at the time when I was first starting who
Hmm.
specifically was only into masturbation. However, I could go into these digital spaces. Like I remember like
Right.
jerking off on like a website software called Rabbit. Do you know this?
Rabbit. It sounds familiar, but
It's so old school. And I was talking to the gentleman that runs this other bait party, smaller intimate party. He and I met through Rabbit, and he was like, "Oh, do you remember?"
oh,
And I was
okay.
like, "Oh, holy shit, yes, I do remember that." And so like it became this history for this. But yeah, I remember starting there and then Bait World
Right.
and then I realized everyone's on Twitter at the time. Like everyone was just that's when Twitter for me was
Yeah.
like really the catalyst. I was like, holy shit, like all the baiters are online just showing off their dicks.
Yeah. And I mean, I love it. And part of what I do, I have to structure my day because obviously if I don't do that, I'm gonna get sidetracked. But I end up getting sidetracked anyway because I get on X and I'm like, okay, well, Denver Jacks just posted such and such. I want to retweet that or whatever. And then I
Mm.
go through that process. And then before I know it, it's an hour and a half later, and I've got my hand on my dick and I'm jerking off, and I'm like, holy shit, this was a fucking rabbit hole, right? And
Well,
so
I think yes, it is a rabbit hole, and I think that's it's the pros and cons of like doing like this type of work because you are so
yeah,
you're working in the sex industry, like
yeah,
you're that's like your demographic, that's your target. Like these are the people that are gonna buy your stuff and wear
right.
it and show it off. But yeah, I do have the same problem when I'm like editing videos and like posting it and just like then I'll just
Yeah.
start doom scrolling and then like all my favorite people are like showing themselves and it's like okay, I have
Yeah.
to check off to this. Like I cannot not masturbate to this.
Right. I mean, it's what we do.
But I was reading, so I send guests like forms to fill out just so I have like
Oh,
some background and stuff. But I was really interested in something that you wrote. Someone told, like, I feel like someone told you like baiting is just doodling with yourself. Like when you like, did you tell someone you were starting this business and they were just like, ugh, like it's what was the reception to that?
yeah. So, it's really has been like two extremes. You tell someone, okay, well, I just started a Bader brand, right? And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, like it's almost like when you tell someone you are a Bader, they go, oh. I don't know if you've gotten that reception before,
Yeah,
and
and I want to hear
it's
your
like,
story because I can relate.
so I was really, just trying, I was trying to put everything together, right? Like, where do I get sex toys from? Like, how do I, get merchandise? Like, what do I stock my store with? What would people enjoy? All that kind of stuff. So I was reaching out to everyone that I knew just to kind of grab some information. And I did have, a friend tell me like baiting's just doodling yourself. So like I don't know what to tell you. And
Mm,
I was just kind of like so shocked because
mhm.
those, it's such a passion of mine. And I know every baiter is like this. It's such a passion of ours. Like we spend so much time baiting. We, know our bodies so well. We talk about it freely. We're proud about it. And then you run into someone who's like, eh. And so
Yes.
that was kind of what I ran into in that instance.
Yeah.
But on the other side of, other side of the fence, other side of the whatever, I've run into several people who are like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I support you fully. This is so cool. Whatever you need me to do, like I love this for you. So it's kind of, there really is no middle ground right now, which is interesting.
And
Um,
there shouldn't be a fucking middle ground. Like, the people that are
yeah,
supporting you are your people, and the people who
yeah,
are not your people. So when I
yeah,
first started, the reason, so I'm related to you. So what you're
mhm,
experiencing is completely normal. Like, there's gonna be people that are
mhm,
just like, oh, I don't get it. Like, I don't know how successful this can be. You're just masturbating. Like, everyone does it. It's not
right,
that big of a deal. So when I first started this podcast, I had a friend that I talked to, and they were in the they were kind of like a publicist. So they had knowledge of like how to like, market things, brand things, help people, and they helped a little bit. But then essentially they were just like, "Oh, it's such a niche thing. Like, you're not really it's not really gonna grow. It's gonna just stay within the
mhm,
confines of what you're doing. So like just keep doing that." And I was just really taken aback for that. And I was like,
mhm,
"You were my friend. Like I would thought you would
mhm,
support me and be like, oh my God, sky's the limit. Like I'm a publicist.
yeah,
Like let me just give you all my resources. Like even if you can't get me in contact with your contacts, at least
mhm,
kind of guide me and be like, this is what you want to do, this is what you don't want to do, this is what you want to say, but and so forth. And so I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't need this. Like, to
mhm,
me, like I don't the goal was never just to stay in the confines of this. Yes, I target it
right.
to my people, my community, but like there's a whole like thing like I want to do. Like it's bigger than just, podcasts. It's like a huge movement, I feel. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I completely agree with that as well. I mean, and it's what we're talking about right now is evidenced by what we're seeing on X. Like how many people are like, I'm a baiter, or hashtag baiter, hashtag bait. Like, and it's people that you would never normally have seen that from before, especially,
Mhm.
content creators and whatnot. And it's great. I think it's fantastic. Like you were mentioning,
Yeah.
we're getting some traction here, and it's becoming, I don't want to say mainstream, but I think you've mentioned on one of your podcasts before, straight people using the term goon and stuff like now too.
Yeah,
So
I think it was King Dwarf, and he was like somewhere, and
yeah.
some straight person said Goon, and he was like, huh? Um, yeah, I feel like I've gotten
Yeah.
some. There's been some controversial conversations about that, like, oh, people are just like, for lack of a better word, baiting us.
Right.
Like these content creators are just like, oh, like this is a new niche market. There's people focusing on this. So I'm gonna create
Mhm.
like goon content or whatever. So it's not really
Right.
authentic. And that's fine. People can come and access, we're not bogarting a community. Like if it's truly want to
Right.
experience it, you can. But at the end of the day, how I feel about it is like baiters see baiters. Do you know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like
Yeah, we can.
you're not gonna mistake a true baiter. Like you're gonna see that shit, and then you're gonna be like,
Right.
"Oh, that's cute. You're like pretending to goon. Good for you. Make your coin, whatever." But like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be drawn to the people that are like truly
authentic.
masturbators for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you mentioned King Dwarf. We've been, kind of online buddies, I guess you could say, chatting back and forth for years, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we kind of finally connected on being a baiter. And I was like, wait a minute, you're a baiter? He's like, you're a baiter? And so it was that kind of like, and then that's all we talk about now, it seems like. So
No, I think that's cool. Like in the beginning, I was just like, oh, like the whole catalyst and basis of why I wanted to start this podcast was because I really wanted to meet friends. Like I just really wanted to
Mhm,
like meet people who were like minded with me that I could have a conversation. and build a relationship beyond this sexual space. Yes, like
Mhm.
the dick and the sex and the penis and the goon, it brings us together, but what sustains us? And I think that's where I'm at this point in my life, where I'm just
Yeah.
like, and I'm doing that now. Like, the people that I do interview with, like, I love keeping in touch with them, and we've formed friendships. Where I feel like we
Yeah.
formed friendships, where like, we send memes on social media to each other. We talk about things that are impacting our lives, and I feel like that's really like the I
Yeah.
can gauge the success that way.
And that's what I think people mean by a brotherhood, right? Like, we
Mm,
keep talking
that's right.
about, a brotherhood of Bators or whatever. And I
Mhm.
think it is that. I think originally, like, I always have known that I was a Bator. I've always been like, "Oh, I'm gonna jerk off like 8 times a day if I can, like
Yeah,
it,
same.
like get goon out, get into it, whatever. I love
Yeah.
my penis. But you know, I think that it was a little hard for me to, I think, talk about it. Um, and really express, like being a baiter, talking like this conversation that we're having right now. I think it was hard for me to do that at first. But then I
Why?
found my people. I think it was just being, kind of reserved about sex in general.
Mm,
I you can tell by the accent. I grew up in the South. Everyone's kind of religious, so there's that
yeah.
shame or
Mhm.
whatever, and we talk about, masturbation is shameful, but it's almost pretty much the safest form of sex, right?
Right,
And
yeah.
so, like, why are we stigmatizing that? So I think that's what I was dealing with. But I found my brotherhood, I found my people, and then I found folks that I
Mm.
could talk to and connect with. And that's why I'm so open, about these conversations now. Um, and I'm loving running into people who I never thought that I would have those conversations with, but now we're having them.
Yeah, that's always a really wonderful space to be in, that you
Yeah.
can finally be proud of who you are. You're, like, basically unmasking this side of
Mhm.
you that you don't have to be ashamed about.
Right.
But it is a work in progress, and I'm always, I love to meet people where they are in their journey. I get tons of
Yep.
messages, and people are just like, "I'm so new," da da da. And then you get the other side of the spectrum, people like Cocky Prince, who's been doing it forever. And so like
Oh my God.
I look
The
to
number of
them,
words I have spilled to him. I mean,
but like,
like,
I look to them, and so like the fact that he and I
yeah,
have a relationship and are communicative, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Also too, like the
yeah,
fact that I got to interview MB Timothy, who when I first came on the scene was probably the first person that I really gravitated to in terms of just like,
yeah.
oh, I'm not alone in this. So I think
Hmm.
I'm so appreciative of other brothers who are very visible in the community, who have done it
Right.
before me. And
Hmm.
so I'm always come from a place of like being humble and grateful, and just saying thank you for like setting the standard or the example, or
Yeah.
be one of the
I mean,
first.
I feel that way with Paul from Seattle, when
Yeah, Paul's like
doing.
so OG.
Yeah, and it's, he just it's almost like he has this greater understanding of
Hmm.
what baiters need when they all come together, like for an event or whatever it might be. And it's things that I just have had such a great time there, going to Rain City Jacks. And
Yeah,
I'm just like, how did you even think about this little thing? And even the music and lighting and the type of porn that's playing. There's been times where I've went in and I'm like, you know what? I don't know that I'm gonna like really play with a lot of guys today. I kind of just want to sit back and watch.
mm.
And it was great then. And then there's times where I'm just never sat down. So yeah, but I feel that way, with exactly like you were saying, those OG folks, and
I
I'm
also,
so appreciative of that.
for sure, I also too find Paul like an elder
Yeah.
Bader. And so
Mhm.
there's this like respect that I have for him to be like, oh, like there's I feel like every time like when I watch that video, when I hear it back, like there's so much like Bator wisdom and energy coming from them. And I'm
Wow.
just like, feed me.
Yeah, I
Like
mean
show me
it's
the way,
great.
make me a better masturbator. And I feel like
Yes.
it's nice. It's sexy, I feel like. It's a whole like
Yeah.
young, older like relationship. I don't know how he feels about me, but I don't know. Whatever. I have the biggest crush on that guy. He's so hot.
I know. He's yes, absolutely. And like I reached out to him. And I said, hey, like I would like to put information about Rain City Jacks on the website, so if anyone's in Seattle, they can find the info and
Yeah.
find where to find more and all that. And the info he sent back was like so long and so detailed and so like you could tell the passion through the writing. And
Yeah.
I just loved that so much,
Yeah,
because we're all so really busy, but he took that time, to
yeah,
craft that.
because I think
So
it's
just
it's
awesome.
important. It's building
Yeah.
community. Like, it's like we deserve it. We should be proud of the things that we do. Like we have a voice in this adult sex industry too. Like we're as valid just
Yeah.
as anybody else. And so, but I think we're extra cooler, and I've talked about this so many times, but I think we're just like so much more adventurous, and we can be really avant-garde with our sex, and like what I really
Hmm.
enjoy is just getting everybody's different unique perspectives, even just in terms of like merchandise and branding, like just your
Yep.
um your aesthetic really shines through, and I think that's always really exciting. And I've always
Yeah.
tried to like push my own limits too, and my own branding and my social. I'm always like ever changing because it's fun for me. Like it's always like evolving. As I
Yeah.
evolve as a baiter, so does all the rest of my shit. It's nice.
I got advice one time, from I don't even remember who it was, and we were talking about brands, creating a new brand, whatever, which is exactly what I did. And they said, look, like go with it, go with what you think is going to be great. But those on the other side, the ones who are going to be following you, buying your merchandise, they're going to actually build your brand for you. They're going to be the ones you know, that say what they want and respond to what you're doing. And you'll eventually find your way.
Yeah.
But they're going to set the stage for you. And
You know what I
so
Yes, go ahead.
that I think that's the reason why, I when I started this, I felt like I was just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, and seeing what kind of stuck and what people are responding to. I'm still kind of in that phase too. But it's it's working actually. People are telling me, "Oh, I love this," or "Oh, I wish I could wear that, but I can't wear that to Starbucks," or "When would I wear this? What would I do?" That kind of thing. So I am getting that feedback, which is great. And that's exactly what I don't even remember who it was that told me that. They're like, your customers or your people are going to tell you what your brand is.
Okay, two things came to mind when you were speaking. One, it'll take time because you're
Hmm.
still sus. And I
Hmm.
think that's normal. People are
Yeah.
looking at this stuff like, oh, what is this about? Are they really
Hmm.
about it? Are they the real deal? And I know that
Yep.
because it happened to me.
Hmm.
And when I first came on the scene, people were just like, who the fuck is this new guy? You're like the new kid on the block, essentially. And so people are
Yeah.
just like, we don't fucking know you. It's only really until like you continue to just be yourself, continue to be passionate, really showcase what those things are. You're not fucking baiting anyone. This is really who the fuck you are. You're inspired to do this because it's a lived life, it's a lived experience. And if you continue to stay true to that mission, don't deviate, you will be successful. And
Yeah.
then that's when like the interactions come, right? And that's when the follows come, and people are just like, okay, I love this shit.
Hmm.
But also too, it's like promoting community again. It's like,
Right.
people advocating for you and saying like, no, the Mitch is cool. Like Mitch is the real deal. Like go buy his shit. It's
Right.
really sexy and really hot. And then the other thing was too, it's like I feel like if you continue to pay attention to your customer, and this is just business 101,
Right.
you will be successful because you are taking that feedback directly from them. You're not selling them something that it's not going to be useful. You're literally
Right.
asking them what do you want? What do you
Yeah.
need? What is missing? What do you find cool? What do you find sexy? And if you take those opinions
Mhm.
and shape them, funnel them into a Fapjax brand, but still
Yep.
provide the things that they need, it's going to be a hit. So I
Yeah.
feel like you're
And
on the right track.
yeah, and like I was saying, like I'm thriving off all of that feedback that I'm getting, which was great
Yeah.
because when I did the I keep going back to the Keep Down South event or whatever, but that was kind of a pivotal moment for me where I was like, okay, I need to be out and about more. I need to be talking to more people.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be places. I don't
Yes.
need to be sitting behind a computer because
Yeah.
that's when I'm going to get the feedback. You know, eh, and that's just what it is. And then also that kind of gives me the excuse to like travel places and go to other beta events.
That's what I'm gonna say, bro. Because that's where I'm at
So
too. And I desperately want to like leave. I want to travel. I want to go to Austin Jackson. I want to go to Seattle.
yeah,
You know, I these things take resources.
yep,
I'm busy. I have another life aside from this. And
sure.
so, I will eventually find the time and the resources to be able to do that. But yes, I think it's really important to meet the people. Like I want it. I feel it. I feel like I'm ready to shake dicks with all the baiters at these
Yeah,
events.
it's called
Like when Alex
yeah, go ahead.
comes down to like the prides for like the Bator bomb,
Yeah.
like he came down. It wasn't LA Pride. It was we have like two. We have three. We have a couple actually, but the one he came down to was like downtown LA Pride, and he had like a booth.
Yep.
And I came down. I was
Yeah.
supporting. I was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here." Like I love like going down there, and like you could
Yeah.
see how much fun he was having, meeting
Mhm.
people, and like creating games that they could play. And so like I want to continue to do that and just
Yeah.
go support. So like follow Fapjack, follow Bader Bomb, follow whomever, and just be like, hey, I'm here. Like, come see this cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. And that's part of the reason why I was like, I asked Alex, I was like, hey, do you want to collaborate on something for Sausage Fest or whatever?
Hmm.
Because that would give me I feel like that was me pushing myself to finally launch the brand and
It's scary,
then
huh?
getting over being so nervous about what the feedback was going to be.
Yep.
And it was he's going to listen to this too. I'm not going to mention names, but this really 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 sexy guy that I had like a one-on-one session with at Sausage Fest. I mean we probably edged for like 2 hours and I was
Hot,
gooned out of my fucking mind.
hot.
I When I finally fucking came, I felt like that scene in Scary Movie where that dude like plasters the girl to the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just mind blowing. So like we're kind of drying each other off with our cum rags and stuff or whatever. And he's like, oh, so did you see the new Bader brand that gave off the shirts and everything? I'm kind of really excited to see what is going on in what's coming down the road from that. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's me.
Oh, he was talking about you. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay. Oof. And so that kind of gave me
Yeah.
a little bit of a boost there. And everybody was just so awesome there at Sausage Fest. We were giving out the shirts and everyone's like, oh, this is cool design, this is pretty exciting. And so yeah, I mean it was great to really do that.
Yeah. No, I think that's really great. What else? So you design clothing. What other products are you selling, or what other things can you share that you'll be selling
So
or giving
yeah,
away?
so currently it's the all of the clothing merch,
Mhm.
bags, the accessories, all that stuff. So like
Yeah.
your typical stuff that you'd see. I did partner with the guys out at 665 in West Hollywood to put Sport Fucker, cock rings, ball stretchers, and whatnot in the shop as well. Um, I think their stuff is really great, especially for baiters. We love to stack stuff, right? We like to put like a cock ring on top of a ball stretcher and see how, like, if we can get our like falls out this
Yeah,
lure
we
or
we
whatever.
we like to accessorize our genitals.
We do like to do that. And so their stuff is really great because you can actually do that kind of thing
Nice.
with a lot of their products. So that's, I took a bit to really decide, okay, well, if I'm going to provide, something that's not my own, like what am I gonna stand behind?
Yeah.
So I really like the Sport Fucker brand. So that's in the shop. I think things that we can look out for in the near future would be socks and jocks.
Nice.
Things that we do wear when we're baiting.
Yeah.
I know that I love jocks. I'm not a big socks person, but I know that there's a huge subset of us baiters that just love socks. And
Yep.
I think that's really awesome. I actually have a sticker, I think. Let's see if I can find it.
That'll go
Oh
on
my
the
God, do I
sock.
have it? All right, no, 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 no. I have like a little sticker pack on the website, and
Uh-huh.
there's a sock in it and I call him Mr. Krusty because I mean, who hasn't used a sock as a cum rag before? I mean, I feel like we all have.
As a comeback guess, but do you have you ever masturbated in a sock? Is that like a
No.
thing? Or have I just always like thought that was a
All
thing
right,
and it's
so
like really
so
not a thing?
it is a thing. It's
Okay.
obviously, I mean, it's evidently it's a huge thing, but I'm circumcised and like that that fabric against like my head and
Yeah.
shaft, it's just I can't do that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be different with an uncut guy or not, but like I just remember trying it and I was like, no, 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 this is not gonna work. So I'll stick to the shampoo in the shower. So
Yeah, because I've always just felt like I don't know, like if that like texture, that material is gonna necessarily feel good on your penis. It's so sensitive. So I just never really tried it.
no, no,
Yeah.
it's not. It definitely wasn't a thing for me. Now, I'm sure there's folks that love it and it's their thing, and I love that.
Yeah.
I can't
y- I
in
think it
particular.
is a thing. And I remember talking to someone, well actually I have a foot boy, I have a foot pig that services me. And I think what it is the stink that they're attracted to. Like
Okay,
they really enjoy like just the foot smell or the sweat that the sock
yeah,
contains. So that's like
right.
a conduit. The sock is a
The
conduit
focus,
for
the
all that
vessel,
musky. Yeah, that's right.
the
So I think
vessel,
you're
and
on the right track with getting like um for sure caps. I'm a huge cap boy, for all the himbo boys out there. You're gonna be really
yeah.
successful with that. Cut off shirts, of course. Shorts, tidy whities.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love all that. Anything that, and then that's just what I'm saying, right? Like I
Yeah.
love I envision Fapjax being that place that you go to get your gear that's gonna make you really fucking horny. Like,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
like you're wearing your jock while and you pull back the pouch and like you're like fucking rock hard because you're like so into this jock, right? And
Yes.
so I want that's what I want. I want baiters to be able to obviously be, wear things out to the bar or whatever
Yeah.
wherever they're gonna wear things to, and just be proud of being a baiter, but like I also want to carry some shit that's gonna make people horny.
Yeah, make people feel sexy. Like,
Yeah.
we're solo sexual. So like a lot of
Mhm,
us are also autosexual. Like I'm a huge autosexual.
mhm.
And so like watching myself, my own body in kinky clothing or completely naked or
Yeah.
like just a hat or socks turns me on. And so you wanna be able to showcase those things and make products that will fucking get the blood pumping
To the right areas. Yeah.
to the right areas. Um, do you want to play a game?
Sure.
We're gonna play Goon or Gone. Do you know this? You should know this.
Yeah, I actually do. And so that's why I wasn't too surprised, but I was kind of hoping that you weren't going to throw me a curveball. So
A curveball of what? Like just a thing that's gonna be like
a,
outrageous? No,
a
I try to
new
keep.
game. I don't.
Oh, I like a brand new game. It's funny. I was like trying to think of something new. I'm always like trying to
Mhm.
think of cool things to do. And
Yeah,
I'm working on something else. But the Good or Gone people seem to enjoy.
it's fun.
Yeah. everyone who's listening to this podcast probably knows what Goon is, and if you don't know,
Hmm.
you're tripping. But if you're new to this podcast, it's the very first podcast that you're listening to of the Bate Escape. Goon or gone. So I live my life and I find shit that I'm like gooning over and I'm curious to know if others
Right.
feel the same. There's no rhyme or reason. So I'm gonna name some shit off. You either goon for it, you love it, or it's gotta go, it's gotta gone. Okay, ready?
Got it.
Number one, hikes. Do you like a hike?
I love hikes.
Me too.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I love like
Say it.
outdoor and public masturbation.
Yeah, you
And
do.
so, yeah, so hikes really kind of like almost turn me on a little bit. And
Me
so
too.
here's what I think when I go on a hike, I'm always like looking like, okay, so if I sat on that log over there and just really enjoyed my penis for like 30 minutes, like, can I get away with it? Like
You
that's,
probably could. You probably
yeah,
could. People are
yeah,
just gonna be like, oh, yeah, we know.
yeah,
Let this
that
man
guy.
enjoy his pipe. Well, I went on a hike this morning, and that's why I have like all this energy. And I woke up and I was just like, I woke up like around 5:30. That's just my eternal alarm clock. And I just lay there and I was like, no, you gotta do this, man. You gotta do this for yourself.
Yeah.
Like get out there, get energized, like start the day. And I went and we have, I live in LA, so we're really close to like
Mhm.
hiking trails, and I went out to
Yeah.
the Griffith and it was great. There was tons of people there already, and it was only
Hmm.
like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Because
Yeah. So no walking around with your dong
it's
out.
getting so hot. No, but I did go. Well, that's the thing too. Like public, as much as I love watching like public play, it gives me a lot of anxiety because I'm just
Yeah.
like
No,
inevitably,
I gotcha.
I'm like, inevitably going to meet someone and they're gonna fucking turn to be a cop, and that's the rest of my story. But I went last
Yeah.
week with my friend Nate. And he runs that trail too, and he was talking to me about all the times he was having sex on this trail, and I was like, "You ho!"
I
I
mean, I
was like,
love
"I,
it.
I
I
want to
love
do
it.
that. I love it too. I completely love it." I was listening to this podcast about, um, I think it's a Provincetown. Is it called Dick Pier? Is it Dick Pier?
Oh, Dick Dog.
Dick Dock. Yes, I want to go to
Mhm.
that. I've never been to Provincetown. Have you been?
I have not. Actually, I was dog sitting my friend's dog last night because they are in P Town right now. So
Nice. Well, I feel like
yeah,
you definitely got to get out there with Fapjax at one point.
yeah. I mean, I would love to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, definitely. So hikes, definitely Goon for sure.
Okay, we go for hikes. Number two, docking. Are you into
Uh,
docking? Can you dock? Do you like docking?
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm Goon for it. I love it. I
Yeah.
mean, someone has to have
Sure.
like
Sure.
tube sock kind of foreskin for me to do it, but
Yeah.
like, uh, definitely, I am a huge foreskin fetish. So like, yeah, that is
Nice.
definitely a Goon for me. Yeah.
Because I was at Brother Bator's party not too long ago and I was jerking with a guy, and I am uncut. I don't have the longest foreskin, so when I am erect, it pulls back, but I can
Hmm.
pull it over my head if I stretch it over it a little bit. And we were
Hmm.
trying to
Yep.
dock and we were successful for a couple times. And I was like, this is really hot. And then it got me
Yes.
thinking, maybe I should like stretch my foreskin and then
Okay.
yeah, it could be more successful.
Yeah. And then
So
you
that's
could
another
then
thing.
you could like hide things in there too. So
Yeah, I had my poppers. I feel like I saw a porn or something like that. Like someone had poppers in their foreskin, or maybe it was their butthole. I don't know. It was somewhere on their body. Okay, so we goon for docking. It is hot. I love
yeah.
watching it too. Like I'll masturbate to porn
Mhm.
videos of just guys docking. It's so
Oh
hot.
yeah.
Um, Number three, ghosts or ghost stories. Do you like? Are you interested in that? Like, does it freak you out?
Yeah. This is gonna be another Goon. I am a huge horror fan. Huge horror
Me
fan.
too. I love
I
that
have
shit.
seen every fucking horror movie that's streaming right now. I was sitting watching TV last night and was scrolling through. I went to Hulu, saw all the horror movies. So like I'm gonna like hop over to Netflix, seeing all those. So yeah, I
You know what?
love horror.
Did you see the remake of Hellraiser? And it's with Jamie. I forgot the actor's name.
I watched it last night.
She did such a good job.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
so good in that role. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
it's so. If people who have not watched it, you gotta watch it. She's so good in that
it's
role. She
it's
can't even
so
recognize
good.
her.
Yeah. I mean, it's that, but that movie in itself I thought was incredible because I've seen
It's a
all the other
classic.
Hellraisers.
It's a
Um,
classic.
yeah, it's amazing.
That fucking movie
Yeah.
freaked me out as a kid. My uncle watched it when I was like really young, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm terrorized. Um,
Hmm.
I do love horror stories, but I'm also very interested. So I listened to this podcast called Ghosted by Roz Hernandez, and
Okay.
she basically just brings guests on people that she likes, and they talk about like actual ghost experiences. So that's been
Yeah.
really interesting. Like people who have experienced like phenomenon, like ghost hauntings and
Yeah.
shit. That shit's really interesting to me. I always love hearing people's stories about that. Mitch.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, there you
Sorry.
go. I was like, oh, he's gone. He's bored. Okay. Um, next, nudist resorts.
Then,
Yeah, I go for nudist
yep.
resorts too.
I'm a yeah, I'm a nudist too. So it's
Me too.
yeah. So and you guys have the best beaches too in California. Like
We
Black's Beach
do.
is San
I
Onofre.
Yes, all of those things do. I'm going to Palm Springs for my birthday, and I'm spending a weekend at a nudist resort, and I'm very much looking
Oh yeah.
forward. Buns
Can I ask
out.
which one you chose?
The Santiago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not stayed there, but
I've stayed at another
I
one before.
I can't remember the there's one that I stayed at. I can't remember what the name was, but there was an earthquake while we were staying there, and it was the
Oh,
first time that I have experienced an earthquake like you guys have.
yeah.
And I was just sitting on the bed, and I felt like I was swaying, and then I looked outside at the pool, and the pool
It's
water was
Wayne, yeah.
sloshing. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is going on?" So
Were you just like
yeah, we had
naked, beaten off in this earthquake?
yeah, no, I was naked on bed for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised my balls weren't like swaying back and forth too.
That's terrifying. Your first time like experiencing that shit.
It was awful. I
Yeah.
do not
They're
envy
s-
you guys at all. It's
they're
scary.
scary. They're never maybe you get used to them, but they're always so kind of like jolting. Yeah, nudist resorts I love. I love just walking around, just balls
Yeah.
out when you're able to do so, and then you feel comfortable doing it. Next, body pillows. You're into body pillows.
Um,
Do you know what a body pillow?
that's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a gone for me.
Really? Are you a side sleeper?
Yeah, I am a side sleeper, but a body pillow is it's just too much, I think. I feel like there's too much going on the bed. And so
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I feel like yeah. So it's probably not the best for me, but they
I
seem
good for
comfortable.
them. Yeah, they're so comfortable. So I remember I was having a really hard time sleeping, and then my friend was like, "Oh, you get a body pillow," because she was asking me, "Are you a side sleeper?" And I
Hmm.
said yes. And then I got it, and I've been sleeping with it ever since. It's been a couple of years, and like now I can't even fall asleep without it. Like I need it between my legs. I have lower back problems, so I'm just
It's
like, oh, I need it.
it's like your what do they call it? A security blanket? Like when you're a kid, they
It
give you
really
a
is because it's so
blanket.
comfy. It's like I just like snuggle up to it. It's so nice. Okay,
I love
that's
it.
totally fair. Okay, next, cream pies.
Uh, let's see, cream pies. This is gonna be kind of in the middle. So I love straight porn. So I think straight cream pie, yes, Goon for that. Probably not so much like gay cream pie. So
Oh,
yeah, I don't
that's
know.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? Like I
What?
9 times out of 10 I'm watching straight porn. So my porn lineup is straight porn, or like solo single masturbator porn.
Gotcha.
So
I just followed
I
this
don't watch,
new.
I guess. Yeah.
You don't watch a lot of
Yeah,
gay
go ahead.
porn.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, not too much. Yeah, I used to, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, it shifts. I would just follow this new person on Twitter. And they're really into having sex with women with other men. Like that's all they're about.
Yeah.
So they're really into like DPs and like cream pies, and he's just like, I want a cream pie with a bunch of random men, and like he's like into that. So that's why I was just like, oh, that's like really sexy. It was a really fun account. I feel like we're having technical issues.
I feel like we are too. I don't.
It's
It's
it's like the
getting. It's
Matrix. Your face keeps getting like more digitalized.
so it's. I think we're actually about to get like a huge thunderstorm here in Atlanta. It looks like, which is great because we definitely need the rain. But like,
Yeah.
it seems like all my devices just like go on the fritz whenever that happens. But
Okay,
yeah.
we're good. We're almost at the hour up, but one final
Oh, awesome.
one.
Yeah.
Last one, Chapel Roan. Do you know what this is?
Okay. No, I don't.
Shit. Okay. She's like the
What?
new hot like artist on the scene. And I was watching a
Okay.
YouTube video and Raja the drag queen gave a really good description of this artist. It's like if Lana Del
Mhm.
Rey and Lady Gaga had a baby, it would be Chapel Roan.
Okay. All right. Huge fan of Lady Gaga. I feel like
So maybe
that was
you might like Chapel Roan.
anything Gaga related. Yes. If she's anything like Gaga, yes, I would have. And I'm still waiting on part two for Telephone. So
Yeah, I think we're gonna all be waiting that for a really long time. I'm not sure. But yeah, Chapel Roan's new on the scene. She's new. She's a brand new artist. Well, not too new, but she's very up and coming. She's getting all the
well,
attention
that's
right
awesome.
now. Yeah, check her out. She just recently was on Jimmy Fallon and she opened the Governor's Ball. So yeah, she's been getting a lot of attention. It's a really fun record. It's pop, all the
Oh,
gays,
love it.
all the girly gays are just like um
Going crazy.
they're going gaga for Chapel Roan.
I love it. That's awesome.
Hey, thanks so much for talking to me on the pod. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
learning more about Fapjax, and I'm really happy that you are following your passion and that you're putting
Yeah.
yourself out there. You're taking the risk. I know it's scary, and I wish you all the best success. Where can people look for you, find your stuff, and learn more about you? Okay, there you are.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all
I'm
right. I'm
back.
gonna edit this.
Yes.
I'll edit this, but I want people to know where to find you and like where to look for your stuff and like how they learn more about you.
Yeah, so fabjax.com is the best place to go for the merch. On X and on Instagram at fapjaxgear. So you can find me there as well, find all of our stuff there. But yeah, I mean, fapjax.com is probably the best place to go.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Mitch, so much. Go follow them. Go check out their website. Go get some really cool Bator gear. Show the world you're a proud Bator. Help support another fellow Bator, and help continue to bring community to our space. I'm BC Bator, your host. You can find me everywhere on social media under that handle. Um, and again, thanks to Mitch for my guest for coming on the pod today. It was so great to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. I will see you on the next episode of the Bate Escape Podcast. Yo, what's up? It's me, Beasley, checking in on you. Did you enjoy that episode with Mitch talking about Fapjax gear? I hope you did. It was a really fun conversation. Go check out his stuff. You can follow them at Fapjax Gear on X. You can also follow them fapjax.com where they have all their gear for sale. Go help a baiter. They have really cool caps and other fun clothing merchandising. So that was really great. I really enjoyed talking to them about that. Baiters helping baiters grow their small businesses, and wishing all the best to Mitch and the really cool stuff that he's doing. Hey, thanks again for listening to these podcasts. I love producing these podcast episodes for you. Um, Again, I do it all myself. I book the guests, I edit the podcast, I make the marketing for it. It's a lot of work, and I love it, and I do it for y'all. And I do it for the people, the community. If you love this podcast, do me a favor, go rate it somewhere on Apple Music, on Spotify, leave a comment, like it, follow it. All those things really help with the algorithm for more people to listen to it, for more visibility on this podcast. And it would really do me a solid if you could do that for me, and I would really appreciate it. Just be nice about it, okay? I also want to remind you that I do have the Bate Escape Hotline. That number is 747-292-1058. Call that number, leave me a message, leave me a comment. there's something that you want to know about, if there's something you're curious about, I want to hear your stories. Let me know what's going on in your lives. We can play it on the air, and me and my guests can chat about it and help a brother out. Again, that number is 747-292-1058. As always, please follow, like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or with anyone you think that could benefit from more masturbation in their life. You can follow me at Bate Bator on all social medias. And thanks again for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode.